Yeah. Yeah. Draft day, Johnny Manziel. 5 years later, how am I the man still? Draft day, A. Wiggins. That other side, we stay winning. Oh man, you know I had to do it for you. You know I had to do it for you. Yeah. Suits and ties yelling out, pay the guys, man, I had to do it for you. You know I had to do it for you. You know I had to do it for you. Oh man, oh man, oh man, man, you know I had to.
Psych.
Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports.
Hype, man.
Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Boston Scientific. We live on YouTube and Facebook, and of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker. Still, boom, bam. I feel like it's game day right now. Seriously, I haven't been this excited since the playoff game, since the 49ers playoff game. We know how that ended. Who cares about how that ended? But today, we win. No matter what happens today, the Cowboys get a dub because they'll be picking another player to add to this talented roster to try to go to the quest for 6. As the great Dwayne Johnson would say, finally, the draft has come back to Kansas City. Welcome in, Bomb Squad. What's goody?
Bomb Squad!
Man, are y'all fired up? If y'all are as fired up as I am fired up, drop some fire emojis in the chat. No more speculating on what's going to happen with the Cowboys' first round pick. Let me say, not overall, first round pick. We will find out tonight. And let me set this up. Later tonight, me and Foots will be live here back on this channel, roughly probably about 7:30 or so. I know it starts at 7, but we'll come in around the middle of the first round, and we'll be covering what happened in the first round and then leading up to the Cowboys pick. So a lot of exciting things that happen. I'll also be going in and out there with Vosh later on. But man, I am pumped. Ooh, Professor O, if that happens, I'm probably I won't do the equivalent of what Vosh did a couple years ago for Boss Man Fat, but I will feel that way. So today is draft day, and we can't just willy-nilly this thing. I try to make sure I come to you guys correct, and we make sure we have a quality show. So we have some clips later on I want to talk about. Brian Baldinger, he had a bit of a rant the other day on Michael Parsons. A correct rant, a little bit misguided. We're going to break that rant down. We're going to talk about what we see on the film that Baldy is seeing, listen to what he's saying, and that'll be kind of the crux of the show later on. But before that, Peter Schrager, NFL insider, he dropped a bunch of nuggets yesterday. We're going to take a look at all the nuggets that he dropped around the league. Some of it can affect the Cowboys, so we'll see what's going on with that as well. And then in the roundup, we got one final prominent NFL draft guy mock that mocked a surprising player to the Cowboys. I can't wait to see how y'all would feel if this were to happen. Y'all know how I would feel in general, but not this guy, y'all. Not this guy in round one. So we'll get to all of that today. So it should be a pretty smooth show. I won't be entirely too long because, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, the next 3 days are going to be absolute madness. I will probably be on like 5-6 hours of sleep over the next few days due to the shows and then the videos and the editing and the preparation and all that stuff. So we won't be particularly long, but if you want to call in, get your opinions in on today's draft day, maybe some bold predictions, or let us know who you think the Cowboys are going to take. By all means, call in. We'll get as many as we can without going overboard. Yes, Nicholas P over on Facebook. Shout out to you. We will be streaming live tonight. Me and Fuster King will be on talking about the first round of the draft leading up to the Cowboys pick. Nikki Floss, yeah. Sky, can we discuss who we really want? Absolutely, man. Call in and let me know, who you guys really want, who you think they'll take. You can put the Cowboy hat on. You can put your hat on, whatever, man. Today is a bit of a freestyle, but we got some organization to it. And I really want to get to this Baldinger thing, man. It's something we discussed a lot about, and now we'll see it on film, and I think he's missing it. But before all that, quick roundup, a little bit of a mock. Let's talk about it.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time.
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
I'm sorry, I just had to play it one more time. I don't care, YouTube.
Yeah.
Draft day.
Draft day. Johnny Manziel. 5 years later, how am I the man still? Draft day. A. Wiggins. That other side, we stay winning. Oh, man.
You know I had to do it for you.
You know I had to do it for you. Yeah. Suits and ties yelling out, pay the guys, man, I had to do it for you. You know I had to do it for you. You know I had to do it for you. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man, you know I had to.
All right, I don't care, YouTube. I don't care. I'm hyped. I'm ready for the draft today, man. I'm going to make the draft day theme song from Drake an annual thing. Can y'all believe this is going to be my 4th year covering the draft, the NFL Draft Day special? 4th year. Unbelievable. All right, let's do this thing real quick. Daniel Jeremiah mocked Luke Musgrave to the Cowboys in the first round. Maybe I should have put that there because you're probably like, oh, whatever. The Cowboys get Luke Musgrave in the second or third round. No. Pick 26. Daniel Jeremiah, what you doing, man? What's happening? All right, look. Here's what Dane Brugler said about Luke Musgrave, his overall thoughts on him. He said, overall, Musgrave must continue to build up his football resume, you don't say, and overall consistency. But he is a high-level athlete with route running and blocking talent to be a productive starting combo tight end in the NFL. He should be the first ever Oregon State tight end drafted in the top 100. He has Luke Musgrave as his 29th overall prospect.
Bruh.
Look, man, I like Luke Musgrave and what he could potentially be, but this does not feel like a Will McClay first round type of pick at all. You're talking about them basically living on hope and a prayer with Luke Musgrave. They don't waste first round picks on just hope. I mean, every prospect is potentially or is projection, right? You're trying to project them to the NFL, but McClay likes to have guys in town, in-house, especially early, that has had some type of production in the NFL, or I'm sorry, in college. Luke Musgrave, he just doesn't have that because he didn't play a lot. He's got more drops than touchdowns. Now he has some skill, but he doesn't have enough film to in my opinion, warrant a first round pick. Like, what are we doing, Dan Jones? And this could be another case of, just not knowing. You're covering all 32 teams. You don't really know this team. This will be out of left field. You could talk, if you want to talk about Mayer, if you want to talk about Kincaid, fine. Because those guys aren't living on a hope and a prayer when it comes to what they've done in college. They've been extremely productive tight ends to go along with their skill set. So you're not just saying, my man only got 40 receptions in his college career, or he's only played X amount of games in his college career. No. Kincaid and Mayer have been extremely productive. So if you wanted to have that conversation, we could have a conversation. Luke Musgrave at 26, though, I can't have that conversation with you. Can't do it. I don't want a tight end, period. But Luke Musgrave, what are you doing, Daniel Jones? Who are you? There's no way you're talking to somebody that believes that the Cowboys are going to take Luke Musgrave in round one. Anyway, Cowboys Nation, I know there's tight end fans here. There's fans in the bomb squad that are okay with taking the tight end in round one. We've had our disagreements on that. That's fine. We both have valuable discussions about it, right? On both sides. But Luke Musgrave? Anybody down for Luke Musgrave in round one? Not me, man. Not me. And that leads me into our draft day buzz, right? The rumor mill that's spinning around the National Football League that I want to get to. But before I get into Peter Schrager's Nuggets, I need to get in here in the chat and see if anybody out there, anybody would be down for a Luke Musgrave at pick 26. Man, look, I don't pretend to be a draft expert. I don't pretend to be an NFL expert, but I think I've grown to at least tell people, well, what do you do? I'm a Dallas Cowboys expert. At least that, because I put everything into knowing this team from top to bottom. Daniel Jeremiah ain't no Dallas Cowboy expert if he think Luke Musgrave is a pick at 26. No way, no damn how. Don't see it. Chandra, nah. Regina, hell no. John, no. Not at 26, not at 58 either, says Swain. 58, if he said 58, okay. First round, though? Nah, don't see it. Nikki said, I'd be down to 6. Damn, nah. Luke Musgrave is a top 4 tight end in his draft, I think. But not in the first round. Sorry. Exactly, Jay from A. Look.
Motherfucker, for what?
For what, man? What are we talking about? So let me go into Peter Schrager's tweets, man, because it kind of morphs into this tight end thing. Peter Schrager dropped a little nugget yesterday that said Kincaid and Mayer will both go top 10 to 25 range. I'm sorry, will go 10 to 25 range. Laporta and Musgrave could sneak into the first round. I hadn't been hearing about 4 tight ends being in the first round, Cowboys Nation. 4. But I welcome it. Because look, if you're taking 4 tight ends and those 2 go in the top 25, Laporta, what if Laporta sneaks up there or Musgrave sneaks up there? You're pushing guys down. We want the top offensive linemen to come down. We want I know a lot of people aren't big on edge, but I'll take one of the top edge guys if they fall down too. All right? You want all those top blue chippers to fall right into your lap at 26. He also said might not know what Houston is doing at 2 until the card is submitted. Everyone has an opinion, seemingly all different. And then he talks about Washington is happy with Sam Howell. Hey, Washington, keep on being Washington. Keep on being Washington. But this part here about Kincaid and Mayer I found interesting, especially since the whole Musgrave thing that Daniel Jeremiah said. So, these are inside guys. These are guys that have contacts with these teams. They talk to people. They're not always right, but they're not always super wrong in the sense of there's some smoke here. I don't think there's real smoke with Musgrave, but there might be real smoke with Laporta and Musgrave sneaking in round 1. Cool. I hope they all go in the top 25. I truly do. But I don't really see it happening. Schrager also said he believes both meaning Gibbs and Bijan, both running backs will go in the first round. Gibbs somewhere in the 20 to 31 range. Foots, that's Cowboys. And Bijan can go anywhere between 8 and 31. Well, you don't say, Peter Schrager, 8 to 31. So it's starting to feel like Gibbs and Bijan could both go in round 1. So again, if you're not really gung-ho on taking a running back in round 1 and these guys kind of get bumped up, let's just play a game here. Let's say 4 tight ends go in round 1. Let's say 2 running backs go in round 1. That's 6 of the 31 picks. It's a good chance. It's a real good chance. There's going to be a player for you at 26 regardless, but there's a really good chance if teams happen to want to take a Gibbs earlier. Bijan is the biggest wild card of the first round. If they want to take these tight ends, maybe one of those top 12 prospects on your board happens to just slip to you, a la CD Lamb. He says, I see Zay Flowers, Jackson Smith, and Jigba and Jordan Addison all going 10 to 20. All right. It's adding up. That's 6 guys we talked about. Not all 6 may go in the first round, but whatever. And now we're talking about 4, or is that, 1, 2, 3. 3, I'm sorry, wide receivers. That's 9 prospects. We're not really pressed for running back. We're not really pressed for tight end. We're not pressed for a wide receiver. So if teams happen to kind of reach for all these players early in round 1, I think you're knocking down some quality guys to the Cowboys. And one of those players that has been talked about, one of the reporters on Twitter dropped, that could potentially be falling in the Cowboys' range is Joey Porter Jr., the cornerback out of Penn State. This is what I mean. So if the tight ends, if the running backs, if the receivers are all getting jumped on right early on, somebody's getting knocked down. Let me ask you a question, Cowboys Nation, because we talked about how corner is really not one of those positions that you have to take in round 1, but it's a kind of a luxury situation where if a guy falls to you, let's not forget the cornerback room after this season. It'll need some replenishing. It'll need some more life, some more juice. He may not play a whole lot this year, but Joey Porter Jr., would you take Joey Porter Jr. if he's staring at you at 26? Oh, I trust him too. Demetrius. My guy Tuck in the building. Tuck is literally going to be in the building down at Kansas City in his hometown for the draft. So make sure y'all follow Jay Tuck for his whole entire draft process, man. Pretty cool to see your growth in this industry down there in KC, man. You're going to be a star down there, bro. Keep it up. Yeah. I mean, this should be an overwhelming yes. But let's see if there's anybody that is on the opposite side. Everybody is just on board. Oh, Fish is not on board. Okay, Fish 82. Fish 82 is not on board. But for the most part, this is probably going to be a resounding yes. Joey Porter is like the prototypical Dan Quinn cornerback to me, man. We talk about having a guy oppo of Diggs that can complement him. So these guys are both kind of aggressive guys in the sense of they're risk takers in a sense. But the difference is Joey Porter, I think, is more physical. So if you're not going to have that cerebral guy like a Gilmore opposite of Diggs, I think they make the perfect complement to each other. You better get somebody that's physical because teams found out last year, we could just run the Diggs side. We'll run the Diggs side. We'll throw some screens over there. We'll throw some tunnel screens, and we'll make him have to come up and tackle. Joey will come up. Joey will be physical with you at the line of scrimmage. He'll be physical with you at the ball in the air. He'll be physical with you in the run game. Joey ain't going back down. So, and he's a blue chip prospect in my opinion. In a class of cornerbacks that is, I think, extremely good at the top of this draft. So I would take him without a doubt, man. Cornerback is another one of those money 5 positions. I guess you can say depends who's on the board. But again, in round 1, somebody asked me yesterday, I think it was Matt. He said, what is your day 1 take? What do you think is going to happen? I said, I think Dallas is going to stick to the board, which leaves them open. I think it's impossible to say, well, it's going to be this position or this player or that player. It quite literally can be 5 different players that play 5 different positions because they're going to stick to their board in round 1. I truly do believe that. I truly do. So those are a few of the draft day eve nuggets from one Peter Schrager. Let's see what else he had here. Forbes, another guy I like a lot here, has a lot of fans in the league. At 170 pounds, he's unapologetic about it. Teams love his physicality and attitude, first rounder. Forbes, he got the weight little man syndrome, and I love it. He don't give a damn that he's 170. He's still going to stick his nose in it. He doesn't play like 170 on film. So, and teams are falling in love with his physicality and his attitude. One of those things we talked about when we were referring to Will McDonald. How are you off the field that will affect you on the field? And I don't mean partying and things like that, but do you have the right attitude to want to be great? So Forbes could go in round 1. And then he talked about how Arizona GM has connections to Vrabel and that the Titans are on the horn trying to make a move. Tennessee, I believe in his mock draft, he has Tennessee trading up to pick 3 to select a quarterback. So look out for that. And hey, again, the more quarterbacks that go in that top 10, the more other players are pushed down. So I welcome that. So that's a little bit of what's happening around the league via Peter Schrager. Now let's talk about Cowboys. The other day, Stephen Jones went on there and we broke down a few things he said. But he was also asked about acquiring a veteran during the draft. And this was his quote here. We don't rule anything out, but obviously you're in a quick evaluation mode. And I'll say this, veterans right before the draft usually come at a good price. After the draft, things go back up because people aren't valuing picks as much because you're a year away from using them. Facts. So it's hard to make something happen. There have been some things where people might be fire selling a veteran, but one of the problems you got is usually when you're talking about trading a guy, which they did with Stephon Gilmore, Brandon Cooks. There's an evaluation and a lot of times having to work through it with an agent on what the contract is going to look like if we make the trade, end quote. The Cowboys don't do a whole lot of draft day player trades, but back in, what was it, y'all, 2018? They were really active in the player trade department. I think the last time they actually did a player trade during the draft was 2018 for Tavon Austin. They traded a 6th-round pick to get Tavon Austin, and then right after that, they traded Ryan Switzer to get Jihad Ward. Didn't work out for either party. Ward ended up being cut before the season, went on to the Colts, now a decent year. So I see Stephen White said D-Hop. I don't think that's going to happen. If it's going to be a D-Hop situation, the talks have to happen now. Because like he said at the bottom of this quote here, the issue is that you have to work through it with an agent on what the contract's going to look like to make the trade happen. And I don't think they have the bandwidth on draft day, while the clock is ticking, right? While they're trying to figure out who they're going to get, restacking their board, who's in, who's out, to negotiate contracts with DeAndre Hopkins or his agent or his lawyer or whoever he's got representing him if it's not himself, and deal with what's happening with the draft. So I don't really see something like that. But the Tavon Austin thing, you're not really dealing with a bunch of contractual issues there, Ryan Switzer, things like that. But boy, if they were to land a D-Hop, would be nuts. So there you have it, man. Some pre-draft kind of buzz and discussion. Before we get to Baldy's breakdown, stick around. You got to stick around for that because I got some. He was heated. He's fired up. He loves Micah Parsons. He calls him the MPP, the Micah Parsons problem, and I love that. But his anger, I think, was misguided in his breakdown just a little bit. He was right, but misguided, and I want to talk about that. But before we do that, let's highlight some of these callers that's calling it. 951. Good morning.
Good morning and happy draft day to you, Sky.
Happy draft day, my man.
All right, so I got two things I'd like to, get your opinion on. When it comes to Will McDonald, is it just me or does he give me Randy Gregory vibes as far as just being able to penetrate and free up space for the linebackers, specifically Micah, to go after the quarterback? Because that's what I see when I figure, first-round pick, great amount of talent, a guy that can, open up those gaps, and let those linebackers play. That's what Gregory did for us when he was here. That's why I believe Micah had such a great year. His rookie season was because you had that type of play. And I'd love to see Will McDonald on this team opening up, things for Micah. And after his interview with Vach, another Micah just roaming around, just let him go get the quarterback. I know we need O-line, but this is a great player, just sitting there. And if he's there for you 27, 26, just take him. Don't even bother.
I think it's funny that you said free up Micah Parsons because when we go to break down Baldy's situation, he's talking about the interior. And I think the interior will help free up Micah Parsons more than another rusher. But that's not to say that Will McDonald I would love Will McDonald on his team. But I do think the interior is the real X factor in freeing him up because, and when I say free him up, I mean as he's rushing. I think it sounds like you mean free him up to play like linebacker to kind of move around a little bit more.
Yes,
Yeah.
Because that's what he did his first year,
True.
and he seemed to do a little bit better. Don't get me wrong; he can put his hand in the dirt and rush pretty decently.
Sure.
But I love being able to just move him around and be that chess piece and throw in Will McDonald to move him around. On top of that fact, man, you're just going to be freaking out trying to figure out where the heck the blitz is coming from.
Well, I think you can do that now. Like I don't think they need to draft Will McDonald to justify moving Micah around. You got a Sam Williams, right? Like you Sam Williams, right. Dante Fowler, and Dorrance. You got enough to move Micah back to being a chess piece. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Will McDonald just adds to that room and gives you a future to not lose any juice moving forward. But your comparison to Randy, are you comparing him to what he could do for Micah, or are you comparing them as players?
No, I'm comparing him to what he could do for
Gotcha.
Micah because what Gregory was and what Will McDonald are two separate players. And I understand that, but it's the opportunities that will come for Micah and vice versa that, will bring it forward. And I hear what you're saying about that interior, D lineman. I get that part, but I'm looking at the interior D line as the run stoppers on, short yardage and first down situations. I can get a guy in the third, fourth, fifth round that could do that for me. So I'm not worried about the interior so much. And, if needed, we got Hankins in week 4, during the season or something like that, week 5, something like that. So we can get a guy if need be during the season, hopefully earlier rather than later, if need be. So I'm not worried about the interior. It's those edges. It's the freeing up the gaps to let Micah go do his thing, that I look at as that's going to be more valuable.
Man, that's a fun conversation. But because you're not wrong in that the edge is more valuable. However, and I'm going to play devil's advocate to myself because I would take a Will McDonald all day tomorrow. We took him in our draft yesterday. I can't go as far and say I'm not worried about the interior, right? Like I would like to shore that up, whether it be from a run stop sense or a pass rush. Like we need interior help, brother. We do. And it could come from one or two ways. It can come from a personnel standpoint, whether it be a young buck coming in here. It can come from a free agency, or it could come from Dan Quinn maybe switching things up a little bit schematically, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But, man, that's a fantastic conversation to have. More valuable is the edge. But is it more valuable for this team? I don't know.
Yeah. So the second thing I was going to ask you about is, let's say you don't get the player you want necessarily at 27, but you have Washington sitting there at 31. Do you pull the trigger if you are the GM? Do you pull the trigger, call Kansas City, and see if you can't trade back in?
You talking about Darnell Washington?
Darnell Washington.
No. I like Darnell Washington a lot. I'm not giving up.
Me too.
Probably your second round and third round. I don't know, Professor O's in there. What's it going to take to go from 58 to 31? You probably ain't picking until day 3. I'm sorry, man. I can't trade up for a tight end.
My next question to you then is, what if you were to give up a future, say 25, year 25, 2025?
You hardly see that in NFL. I mean, I usually see the next year, right? But 2 years down the line, that far back, I mean, I can't see it. I can't see the Cowboys doing it. I don't even think I would do it either. Not for a tight end. Can't do it, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason why I asked was because I did see an article, and unfortunately I can't link it to you, but it said that the money for the players is going to go up as the league equalizes, and therefore the money is going to be higher the next time around that the players come up for contracts. And so by getting them now, the pay is actually going to be less, and you're going to save more money in the long run. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, so you're trying to grab yourself 2 first-round picks that can play for 5 years on their rookie deal. I mean, it's not a bad thought. If you threw another player, let's just say Darnell Wright, a more valuable position at a position that the Cowboys could use here. Now my antennas are up. Now I'm open to listen, but not for a tight end.
Gotcha.
Yep.
See, that's why you're my favorite out of you and Botch. Is I get the brains of the operation, and this is my first time calling your show, and I appreciate you so much. Love Botch and everything, but you're the brains, man. I can definitely have these conversations and enjoy myself the entire time.
You just call Voch the brute.
Well, I mean, the last time I called, I kind of burned him a little bit. It wasn't intentional, but it is what it is.
Hey, man, look, I'll tell you this. You got to have some cojones to call into either of our shows because you know how we get. So, appreciate you, dog.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Salute, man.
All right, thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
You have a great day.
Happy draft day, man. Don't be sleeping on Voch's brain. That man is super smart, dog. The brawn. There it is. Is that what it is? Was it the brawns and brains, brutes and brains? Maybe I come up with a segment like that. What? I didn't mean to press that button, but it's very fitting because today is draft day. Nah, I ain't gonna press that button. Today is draft day, and I'm feeling on fire, man. Man, that was a good conversation. We got a lot of callers on the line. 1, 2, so I'm gonna lock it. And I feel like brawn and brains. Thank you, Mleach. I knew it was something like that. I feel like because of that conversation that we talked about Micah and open him up, it's just a perfect way to segue into this Baldy rant. That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it a rant. And let me just preface what is going on here with the whole Baldy rant. So was it 2 days ago? What date is this? Yesterday. Okay, he got on Twitter and he loves Micah. He gets on Twitter and he raves and rants and raves about Micah. But this time he was frustrated. He was pissed off because he's watching the film and he's like, is anybody going to help Micah Parsons out? The Cowboys need interior pass rush help. They need to get a dude. He ain't wrong. You know, I agree with him. We talk about that a lot on this channel. We talk about getting a dude on the interior. I was willing to pay a lot of money to get a dude on the interior, straight up, to help out with Micah and everybody else. I think it was going to have a trickle-down effect for Micah Parsons and the defense. However, I feel like his anger and his frustration was a bit misguided. I feel like he was missing what was happening right in front of him. The answer to why, not just the personnel, because we know the personnel is an issue because we're trying to get personnel. This is why we talk about the Mozzies, the Bentons. This is why a lot of fans bring up Kalijah Cansey, right? These guys that come in and help on the interior from a pass rush standpoint. But there's a lot of things he missed in his breakdown. And there's like 4 videos we're going to take a look at here. We talk about Quinn and the stunts that he does at an alarming rate, sometimes too much. And it leads to misfires. It leads to guys running into each other. When it works, it works. But he doesn't really bring that up much. That is a big factor. He doesn't really talk about how he doesn't allow, when I say he, I mean Dan Quinn, doesn't allow his 3 techs to just get upfield for the most part. The 2 that he had that did that was their strength, Tristan Hill and Osa. He really didn't allow them to do that much, to the point where Tristan Hill got booted. Tristan was only good for that. And if you're not going to allow him to do that, he's useless for you. Osa's a better player, in my opinion. But when he did let Osa do it, you saw Osa be effective in that. And then Endgame. Look, man, we love Endgame. We love the NASCAR package. In general, it's cool. It's fun. I get it. But the issue with it is Dan is likely to run a stunt. He's likely to come out in a wild formation that is not advantageous to that guy, to the defensive ends on the interior. So that means that these interior O-linemen are fighting against these smaller defense ends. If you don't beat them with the quickness, 9 times out of 10, you're not beating them with the brute strength unless you are Micah Parsons. So you got defensive end guys not knowing how to battle on the interior when they're having to do pure interior things. But I just wanted to set that up because as we go through this, I want y'all to see exactly what I'm saying and how I just feel like he's a bit misguided in his anger. So here's the first part about it. We'll be stopping and pausing and rewinding as we go. I just wanted to get this out.
Let's talk about the MPP, the Micah
MPP. That's pretty dope.
Problem. Nobody wins as easy as Micah Parsons wins, but he does a lot of it on his own. If you want to get interior pressure, sometimes the best way to get interior pressure on the quarterback is for Micah Parsons to rush inside, knocking down the guard and getting to the quarterback. I feel like Dallas has to address the interior pass rush, defensive tackle. It's been missing. Like right here, Micah is.
So first of all, he's not wrong. We've been talking about that for a long, long time. But his examples, I think, are misguided. Right now, right here, this formation is what, y'all? Endgame. There is no defensive tackle on this field. This is endgame, and it's probably a stunt happening here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's let it play.
Do this. All right, now he
not
can
even a stunt.
Read the quarterback, flush the quarterback, Daniel Jones. Let's go to next week.
So you got endgame going on where they usually stunt guys.
Like right here, Micah is going to.
But you're asking defensive end to do defensive tackle things. You're asking Micah Parsons, who he beats this guy 9 times out of 10, and he's getting double. That's the problem you run into, right? If you're not going to stunt in the end game, then you need to set somebody up some way, somehow, because now you just don't have a numbers game. It's 4-on-5.
Do this. All right, now he can read the quarterback, flush the quarterback, Daniel Jones. Let's go to next week because I threw the ball into the middle of next week. Sometimes when he's tripled, it'd be good if somebody else could win. It doesn't happen.
See, I don't know why he's not watching Osa Digizoo. When Osa is not asked to be a stunt guy, watch Osa be his guy and force the pressure.
It'd be good if somebody else could win. It doesn't happen nearly enough. But even when he is tripled and Daniel Jones has to hold it, the MPP will chase him. And again,
I mean, you're not going to give props to Osa right here, bro? I mean, Osa beats
Even when
his
he is
guy,
triple, and Daniel Jones
pushes his man to move Daniel Jones out the pocket.
has to hold it, the MPP will chase him and again flush him and make an errant throw. Like this is week after week. Like right here, he beats Andrew Thomas inside clean. All right, here comes.
Bro, this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. First of all, look at the personnel. Bohanna, Tristan Hill. Look, man, that's not a great personnel package. Then we're going to run a stunt.
He beats Andrew Thomas inside clean. All right, here comes.
And Hill and D-Law are hugging each other. That to me is a schematic issue. Yes, we know we have a personnel issue, Baldy, 100%. But why are we sending so many stunts where that's not his game, man? That's not his game. Now, D-Law's a stunt guy, but this is what happened. Look, we talk about this during the season. How many times do we see guys running into each other? You're going to see it throughout this. I'll let it go.
The back to pick him up. All right, now he's the double team. All right, that forces Barr to be able to get home. Another errant throw. Let's watch him here against the Commanders. Funny how dummy head teams will put a tight end on Micah Parsons. It's just foolish.
Come on, man. Stop playing with Osa, bro. Like if Osa is allowed to just get upfield, he's a problem. But I'll keep him moving.
All right, he's going to win both of them. All right, forces Carson Wentz like on the run right here. He's just running to just dump the ball. Like here
we go again. End game. 1, 2, 3, 4. And look how they're spread.
Here he beats Charles Leno Jr. clean. All right, now if Carson Wentz had more interior pressure right here, this is going to be
pressure
a sack.
Right there, bro.
Like he gets the Wentz and he forces a bad
There's
throw.
pressure right there, buddy.
Like,
I know you
see
pissed
him right
off,
here,
but bro.
And he's going to win. He's going to win right here. Like centers can't handle him. They don't know what to do. Matt Stafford right here just throwing this ball blindly. All right? Just trying to put some air under the ball to Atwell. This should be a sack. He beats Havenstein clean. All right? There's no interior pressure.
Because, Baldy, they're running stunts. You know? Now, the loop is going to get there and get pressure, but you're ignoring the main issue aside from personnel. We get it. Personnel is a problem when it comes to just pure defensive tackle. But the rushes that you're showing, majority of them are coming with end game and against stunts.
Like, where is it? Like, look at what guys like Javon Hargrave do in this business for guys like Hassan Reddick. Like, this is an incomplete built team. Again, he wins easily on the outside. Like, nobody else is winning.
Come on, man. That's disrespectful. Like, Osa just clearly embarrassed this guy. It's not always going to be in the pure second. Sometimes you're going to get in fights, and Osa wins that fight. This was around the time, too, where Micah was just terrorizing guys, so teams were having to get the ball out at an alarming rate, by the way.
There's 4 of the pass rushers. Nobody else is winning. Nobody wins.
I mean, he was
Micah Parsons.
Backfield, bro.
But he could win more. He could have more sacks. He could cause more damage. Like right here, he forces Jalen Hurts to hurry up on this screen right here. All right? Now, they had to back up Jack Driscoll at right tackle there. But regardless, he forced that errant throw to be rushed. Here
you go again. You got to stunt. This is what kind of frustrates me about the scheme sometimes. Why not allow Oso Odighizuwa to go one-on-one with this guy and try to beat him? Instead, we're looping him. And I don't know if this is a misread from Micah. I don't know if Micah's going to step back here and try to loop around. But this is a stunt. This is a stunt.
He beats Decker clean on the outside. But where's the interior pressure right here? This should be a sack right here. All right? He's forcing him to step up.
Well, this game was interesting because we had 6 sacks in this game, and there was 4 other guys that had a sack, but he was pissed off about that game too. So we'll listen to some more, Baldy.
This is an empty set. This should be automatic. This should be an automatic go when Parsons is in this position right here. Because he's going to beat any guard or center. And he gets to Cousins, and he forces that throw into the backup defensive line. Like, again, nobody puts pressure.
End game. Just saying.
On the center. Like, who does this? Who sends the center and the back to the same side? Not many people get this treatment. One-on-ones on the other side, nobody's winning. Like, he's taking on basically the back, the center, and again, forcing the ball into the backup defensive line's hands over there. Watkins, I think, had his hands on it. Like, does anybody else want to party with Micah? I ask myself this sometimes. Like, he's going to win so fast right here. Like, there he is.
That's
like,
crazy.
Does anybody else want to join him for the party? Sometimes I ask myself that question. I wonder if Micah does. Like, if he had interior
End game. Stunt. Let's run into each other.
pressure right here, this is a sack. Like, right now, if Daniel Jones couldn't step up, all right, he beats Andrew Thomas clean. But Daniel Jones can step up. And DeMarcus Lawrence is late. All right?
All right, I think you guys get the gist here. I mean, we can keep going. There's more. Maybe we were visited, but Baldy, I get what you're saying. The Cowboys could use more interior pressure. They could use a legitimate defensive tackle that can get that type of pressure upfield. I think he's missing that. Dan Quinn is not going to allow that defensive tackle to do so. What's the statistic, Professor O? The Cowboys stunted at a higher rate than any team in the league, and it wasn't close. Like, I believe it wasn't close. I think it was almost, I don't want to say double the second team, but damn near or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. But they stunt so much. And the reason why he uses the ends to do it is because the ends have that quickness and that speed over a 300-pound guy. So I get it. But we saw Dan Quinn tweak his defense a little bit from year 1 to year 2 in regards to the coverage. I wonder if in year 3, Dan Quinn tweaks how he utilizes his front four. And just like how we talked about tight end, if the Cowboys were to take a tight end in round 1, I think that's an indication that we could see a slight philosophical shift in how they use the tight end. If they were to take a Kancey in round 1, I think it could potentially be a case where they decide to utilize the 3-tech a little bit different. Because if you're going to draft any of these guys and you're going to ask them to come off the field on these pass rush downs or to not utilize their strength, which is their quickness and their penetration and get upfield, you're doing them a disservice. If you're going to just have them be guys that loop, be stunt guys to open it up for the other guys, you're doing them a disservice. So you're not wrong, Baldy. The Cowboys need better interior pressure. But every time you said somebody's late, it's because they're stunting. And a stunt takes time. It's not going to get home right away. It's to make the offensive lineman look at this hand while I smack that hand and get home, right? Look over here while I pull the, quarter from out your ear. Quality rant, misguided a little bit. That's all I'm saying, Cowboys Nation. It's misguided. I had to get that off my chest. It was bugging me. And I could have won in here and did all that, but Baldy was in his feelings in the Twitter comments. I noticed people were kind of like, hey, but Dan Quinn does this, and he was like, it doesn't matter. I don't care about the package. Well, Baldy, yes, Marcus, context matters, fam. It that does matter. How these guys are being used does matter, and it affects the outcome. Period. All right, let's get to Reek. We ain't talked to Reek in a while over here. What's good, Reek?
Hey, what's going on, Skywalker still? What's going on, Cowboy
What's up,
Nation?
man?
Draft day. Yeah, man. Yeah, like you were saying, man. Too many damn stunts, man. Dan Quinn has to get let players do what they're good at. You know what I mean? And like you were saying about Osa. Is it just me, that wants to see Osa playing on the end sometime, like a Michael Bennett used to do in Seattle? You know what I mean? I feel like he has some of the same wrestling skills as what Michael Bennett used to do to get people off of him. You know what I mean? He knows how to get linemen off of him and throw them to move them the way he wants them to move at times. And I think sometimes we need to try to put him on the end because he is a person that can hold up the end. And sometimes we have even like in the middle sometimes when they running the ball on us. So in the middle and on the outside, sometimes they get to that edge faster than we can. Sometimes we need a dude that can hold up the edge. And I think we need another big dude in the middle besides just Hankins, because Hankins is not he's not a person that's going to be on the field all the damn time. So you need another person in there too because you lost Watkins. So we have to replace that, whether it's with a young stud or a veteran. We got to do something. You know what I mean? But as far as this draft thing, I wouldn't mind Will McDonald, but if we can get something better to help the offense or defense, I'm with it either way because we don't know how the board is going to fall tonight. We really don't, and we don't know what's on the Joneses' mind. I just hope that they make it worth our while, you know what I mean, tonight and the rest of this draft because I have faith in them to make the right assessment of how they want to build onto this team because we're not that far away. But like you said earlier, Scott, I hope somebody that we wasn't even expecting to fall in our range, either we go up a couple picks to get them or they just fall directly in our lap. I'm happy either way. I'm just happy that this draft thing is here. The draft day is here, and all these simulations, simulations can go out the window. I'm ready to get these players in here and see what we got, so I can see some film on that stuff and how we think these guys are going to be used, whether on offense or defense. You know what I mean? I'm just tired of the guessing.
Same here, man. I'm ready to talk about who we have and evaluate them and how they fit and things like that. To go from 200-something prospects down to 6 is going to be amazing. So,
yeah, man. And plus, I want to see if Vach have his baby. Just joking, man.
I know your question yesterday was who is your hump the chair guy. I think it's Jalen Carter. Honestly, if Jalen Carter happened to do before, other than that, I don't think there's. He said Bijan. He talked about Bijan. If he's there, he'd be excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. But yo, man, let's just cross our fingers, Cowboy Nation, and hope for something good tonight. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Salute. So I'll go back to his first point there. Reek can go, so I just let Reek go. Micah or Osa Digizua as Michael Bennett playing defensive end. I think Bennett was more NDT combo type situation. Osa's played defensive end, weirdly enough, in his rookie year when they come out in these alignments, but he's usually looping. I wouldn't put him out there. If I remember correctly, when we did the Osa Digizua evaluation, he played some defensive end at UCLA, and I didn't like those reps as much. I like when he was on the inside. I think if you take Osa, and again, I probably should ask him why he was on here. If he means Osa is like a defensive end majority of the time, I think you're taking away the one advantage that Osa brings on the interior, and that's his quickness to beating less quicker type of guards and his leverage in getting lower on the inside. So I think you actually be taking away Osa's superpower and putting him closer to kryptonite, right? The closer Superman gets to kryptonite, the weaker he is. So I would not do that. Now, if they're going to put him over there and stun him, sure. But from put him over there against a tackle, I think a tackle will have that advantage a lot, man. Maybe a bum, maybe it works out. But I like Osa on the interior. The funny thing is, though, Reek, the guy I was interested in doing something like that with is in the draft, and Khalid Yancey, because I think he's a tad bit more athletic, and he has the slimmer build on the edge to be kind of a contained guy, a DeMarcus Lawrence per se, right? And then slide inside on rundowns. So the thought of a undersized 3-tech playing strong side, because I imagine you mean strong side, not necessarily the pass rushy side of the defense end, that's not a foreign thought. I just don't think Osa is quite fit for it. That's all. I think Yancey could be more fit for it than Osa would be. Or the other kid who's stupid athletic over there in Northwestern. But Osa's superpowers is in that middle, man. I would hate to move him. That's all. Let's get Charlie Murphy. What's good, Charlie?
What's up, man? How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good. I'm excited. Ready to go.
Hell yeah, I'm excited too. I woke up like a little kid for Christmas, man.
It feels that way.
Trying to figure out what toy I'm about to get. But I'm listening to you talk, man, and you've kind of convinced me and weighed me off of the tight end ledge. Like, I'm not really fully sold on wanting the tight end. I would be all right with Kincaid or Mayer, but other than that, if those two are gone, I do not want a tight end. And even if they're there, I'm okay with them taking it. But I'd rather have something like Forbes or McDonald, like you were saying, or even Cansey. I really like Cansey. I think that he could solve a lot of problems in the middle that you're talking about right now. But I do think Baldy was tripping, though, on Twitter. I'm not going to lie. I think Baldy was kind of tripping out.
Well, I think he was mad.
Something happened at home, and that man was mad.
No, I just think he mad at the Cowboys. And there was a super chat that let me find it. Where'd it go? Shout out to you, Andre Robinson. He said, I somewhat agree with Baldy, though still we lack true interior power on the roster. Stunts are the only means right now. Better roster build, ? I agree with Baldy as well. The thing is, I said Baldy's right, but misguided. That's all. He's right in that the Cowboys need more interior pressure. I think where he's misguided, though, and his anger should be towards is Dan Quinn. And I hate that sounds weird because Dan Quinn is our savior, right, on defense. But the stunts is just, it's too many stunts. It's too many stunts and not enough emphasis on the players' traits to just win getting upfield. So I'm telling you, man, if they take a Cansey, I think the philosophy is going to change if they take a Cansey. Which I'm hearing,
I do too.
Shout out to my guy is Cansey is not out of the equation at all.
No, I don't think he is either. That's what I was saying. I think Baldy, like you were saying, was misguided with that. I do think it's a mix of both, personnel and at the same time all those stunts, which I think stunts at sometimes are very, very
they work
very good to use.
Right, but at that rate, you're bound to miss a lot too. And when you miss, you leave those.
100%.
How many times did we see the Daniel Joneses and the running quarterbacks just step up because there's a seed just opened, like Moses just opened, you know what I mean? And then they just run through and they scramble for a first down because the stunt doesn't get home or somebody runs into each other or it's just it's not effective. So I'm not against using them, but I think we need to kind of get back to the basics and allow your players to use their skills the best way. If we're going to get on Kellen, right, then this little thing right here,
we got to get on Dan
Quinn. Right.
I agree. I think, and I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you got hella callers today, but I honestly started this whole process like a little, I get into it like you guys do. I was in love with Cansey, and I heard a lot of people talk about his size and, kind of discrediting a lot of things that I liked about him. But now that I'm getting today, I still feel the exact same way I do. Like, I think that he would get in there and provide an instant pass rush, like boost to your interior. And I love Osa and everything like that, but I think Cansey is just a little bit different than Osa in terms of the pass rush. And I think that would open up a ton for Micah. Do you believe in Sam Williams? Because if that's the case,
yes.
I love Will McDonald. But if that's the case, then why are we trying to instantly replace the future Tank Lawrence with Will McDonald when we do possibly have an explosive replacement in Sam Williams? I'm not hating on Will McDonald at all.
No, I know what you mean, bro. And I think that's what everybody had trouble with yesterday was, look, we like McDonald, but do we need McDonald, right? We don't need a McDonald in 2023. Although you could never have too many pass rushers. But if you're looking at this thing from a now and future, you're going to lose a couple of these guys in that room. D-Law's getting up there in age. And technically, my opinion, Sam should be the D-Law replacement. And then Will McDonald could slide in as your right defensive end. And now you got Sam as my LDE, Will as my right DE, or Nolan, that was another guy we used. And then Micah Parsons as kind of my chess piece where I could move him around all over the place. So that was kind of the thought process with Will McDonald. But if you don't take a Will McDonald, you got Sam Williams. So I'm not sitting here pounding the table saying they got to take him. Nah, because the way to justify that is say, hey, man, I got Sam. I'm good. I'm good over here.
Yeah.
And we believe in D-Law for the next couple of years. So we're good to go. But I think Dan loves Will McDonald is all.
Oh, yeah. All right, and then the last thing, and I'll let you go, man. You just said pounding the table. You wouldn't be pounding the table for him. Who is your one or two, maybe three dudes that you would be sitting there pounding the table for? Whether somebody fell, I know probably Joey Porter Jr. for you. Who's your pound the table dude?
Darnell Wright is one of my pound the table dudes. Probably one of the only. Because pound the table means like I'm standing up and I'm like, we can't pass on this guy or go up and get him. He's within our distance. Other than that, there's just the way that the Cowboys have put their roster together. I'm really not tripping about too many spots because whatever I don't get in round one, bro, I can get that in round two. So they've just put this roster together so well with the trades mostly, right? With the trades that I'm not really tripping this year, and that's crazy to say, but the reason why I'm pounding for Darnell Wright is because I think he's a top blue chip, offensive tackle that could play offensive guard, and he kind of completes this offensive line. So that's really it, man. I mean, I could talk about Paris Johnson, I could talk about Skoronski, these guys, but I don't think they'll be in range. I think there's a possibility that Wright could be in range.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of weird stuff of Wright going ahead of, going top 15 and everything, which is cool because I love Wright in that aspect. I think he's a nastier Ronald Leary in a sense. Like he's kind of that aspect at guard, and then a more powerful steal. But man,
that's an
I wish I could talk to you for hours, man.
Let's go one more on the comp. I don't do too many comps, and I try to be a little more realistic. Not Jason Witten and Mayer. I don't try to do all that stuff. Kelsey and I, but Lyle Collins. Darnell Wright, when I watch him, reminds me of LSU and early day Lyle Collins. Healthy, not lazy yet. Lyle Collins. That's kind of reminds me of. Whereas, no offense to
hell, put you in the dirt.
Oh yeah, no offense to Ron Leary. Ron Leary was the trash can full of dirt guard. He was built like melted ice cream, right? But he was a baller. He was a baller.
He was fun to watch though. I don't know why. He was just fun.
Larry was a beast. I'm just saying when I hear the comparison, I don't see it. I see more of an athletic Lyle.
Yeah, only reason I said Ron Leary is because I heard Brian Broaddus say that the other day on the draft show. I don't know if you watched that.
Yes, I did.
But
I did. I heard him say it, and I said the same thing. I'm like, I don't. And I know James Slater came out and was like, there's an athletic Ron Leary that the Cowboys are dubbing, and I'm like, who? I don't see that. But then maybe they're talking about their demeanor because it damn sure ain't their physical traits or their athleticism or the style, but it could be their demeanor.
Nah. Are you as low as Broaddus is on Van Ness?
On who?
On Lucas Van Ness.
Luke Van Ness. I'm
low on him.
I would only be with Luke Van Ness if he is your D-Law replacement. And even then, I'm not really huge on a guy. I don't really see a crazy pass rush upside, but I think he could be a really sound run defender. He could be D-Law. I think he could be this version of D-Law.
Yeah,
6 to 8 sack guy, but can be really, really dependent on to stop the run.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. I'll let you go, brother. It's gonna be a good time. But I wish I could talk to you for hours, bro. I love calling into your show, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Bro. I love you.
Appreciate it, dog. Man, good stuff by Charlie Murphy. I still got to get that drop. 5 fingers say to the face. Oh yeah, Van Ness. Yeah, he's really low on Van Ness. He talks about it a lot. Brian Broaddus, but I see Van Ness go 10. I see him 15. I see him 8. He everywhere in this draft. I'm curious to know where they have him on the board. And again, I think for the first time in a long time, I'm coming into this draft today in round 1 with a clear head. Unless they go Luke Musgrave in round 1, it's really going to be hard for me to knock me off, right? Like, because they put themselves in position to really be sound to their board. And then in day 2 and 3, they can say, okay, let's attack. Boom, 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 boom. So even a Luke Van Ness, if he's 8 on their board, 10 on their board, and they take him, it's because of where he stacked that on their board, in my opinion. And they're going to stick to it. Alpha Mason says, see if the Saints want to trade up. My bad. I ain't been in the chat too much today. Apologies, y'all. Apologies. Oh, Keon White would be a nice Dion replacement. Keon White would be a nice D-Law replacement, King Element. But I got Sam. You said right there, don't think he's better than Sam. Sam is bigger than I thought he was. He's 260, right? So 260 coming in at the combine. He's probably up to like 265, maybe. And I think that's perfectly fine. He can stay right there. If he wants to put on an extra few pounds, go to 270. I don't think he loses a ton of athleticism. I think he can be a D-Law replacement with a higher upside. I do. I think it'd be a D-Law replacement with higher upside. So I don't think the Cowboys need to technically go out and get a D-Law replacement. If they want to get an edge rusher, it would need to be a guy to replace Dorrance Armstrong, to replace Sam Williams on the opposite side, etc. Two Broke said, who do you pick if the Cowboys have a choice between Campbell or Sanders? Probably Sanders. Man, I like Campbell. But there's a pass rush upside to Sanders. I like him in coverage too. Campbell probably a round 2 guy. Sanders is probably a round 2 grade as well, but he has that pass rush upside where you can kind of use him, move him around. Dan Quinn worked him out. They brought him in for a visit. It feel like it'll be a Drew Sanders type pick. Mont, what's good, Mont? Happy draft day.
Happy draft day, big dog.
What's up with you?
So I was thinking, I know a lot of people keep saying offense. But in your opinion, what side of the ball can you draft that's going to make an impact this year for us?
Probably offense. When you think about guard.
Really? I was thinking that I don't know. I don't know why I keep thinking that
and running
Drew
back.
Sanders might be the pick.
That's another one too.
Drew Sanders keeps making me think that he's going to be the pick there at 26. Mainly because
are you talking about pick 26 or just in general? Because again, I got to remind y'all, the draft doesn't end after the first round, so you know.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I was thinking. Yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah. What are you saying? Which side of the ball has a bigger impact for pick 26?
Yeah, in your opinion, like which side of the ball do you think you can get the most bang for your buck at pick 26?
That's a different question. I still think guard. I still think offense because you get a guard, and then I know this is going to sound crazy because I'm not a tight end guy. But if they were to take a tight end in round 1, that tight end is going to play. That tight end is going to get a lot of catches unless he gets hurt. He's going to get ton of targets. He's likely going to be a tight end 1. So those two positions are probably going to get the most tick. I love Will McDonald. I really, really like Drew Sanders. Those guys are going to be a part of rotations. And when it comes to linebacker, you know how I feel about linebacker, Mont. I think we need to add more guys in that room. He comes in and probably is going to compete with Clark, right? I don't think they're going to get rid of your boy, LVE, right away. But what if he doesn't beat out Clark right away? I saw LVE sit the bench for a little bit. So I just feel like the surefire way to get production without any injuries or anything happening is if they take a tight end, he's going to be a starter. If they take a guard, he's going to be a starter. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Okay, so I was thinking that you just said that if he can't beat out Clark, then I was just thinking to myself like, well, why not, move him to the edge and let Micah go and play more so inside until Damone Clark develops into that middle guy.
Well, I would just do the opposite. I would put Micah and let Drew kind of become a back. I don't see Drew being. This is crazy because he gets comped to Micah because he was a rusher. I don't see Drew being 70, actually like 80, 90% edge guy like Micah was last year. I just don't see it.
Well, he was.
I don't see it happening in the league.
Go ahead. Well, he was primarily a defensive end in college.
Right.
Yeah, and in high school also.
Right.
It's just they switched him to Mike when he went to Arkansas.
Yes.
So
but I don't see it, is what I'm saying. Well, Micah, it was no problem for me. I saw it with Micah because I watched him. But, with Drew, he does have the resume that I play defensive end, but I don't think they're going to draft Drew and it'll turn into Micah like, oh, well, we found out you can go play defensive end, so that's what you're going to do. And now Micah's going to be linebacker. I think they are hunkered down. Micah Parsons is their edge rush guy, and if it comes to a battle of the two between Clark and Drew Sanders, if Drew Sanders can't beat out Clark, right, then Drew's going to have to be a move around guy. But I don't think you're going to see it in the sense the way Micah was his first year. Like Micah was, 80-90% of the snaps. Drew would just be part of a rotation.
So that's what I was going to say is that I don't want to primarily move Drew to the outside to the outside linebacker spot. I was thinking like what you could do is against certain teams, like against like when we played San Fran, how Micah was just killing it at middle. I was thinking maybe you could have Drew against certain teams. They interchange these guys. That way you could never just lock on one guy, and you don't need Drew to have a 2-3 sack game. You just need him to want to run the quarterback into either a Osa or a Billy D. Williams.
So,
or
that's what you got, Mike. That's what you got. In my opinion, you got the edges to do. I want to draft Drew to play linebacker. Let me just say that.
Gotcha.
Like if he can't beat out Clark, I don't use him right to be a pass rusher when you're blitzing. Right. Remember when LVE would line up at defensive end last year? Remember when he would blitz? Remember when Sean Lees would blitz of the world? It's like those dudes are ineffective when it comes to that. I feel like Sanders can be a backer that has the blitzing upside that is better than LVE and whatnot. So I'm not really drafting Drew to try to move him to a different position. I want him to be a staple middle linebacker that can be versatile when I do rush him as a blitzer. For me, if they find out he can't play backer in the league, then now you got to have that conversation. That's all. Because if they're going to use Micah as defensive end, I need a guy that I can count on at the backer position moving forward. I don't think it's LVE, bro. I don't.
Yeah, and also I also don't think that LVE is I don't think he's as physical as Drew is. I think Drew might be a little bit more physical as far as his ability to run straight to the hole instead of just kind of trying to body catch at times.
Well, yeah, we you know how we feel about LVE and his physicality is where Drew has to get better at though is he misses a lot of tackles, not because he ain't trying. He just of all the guys in the draft, I think he has the highest missed tackle percentage. So he's got to wrap up a little bit better. Maybe that's because he's trying to transition into being a linebacker full time. I like Jack Campbell, Scruggs. Look, Scruggs, if Jack Campbell's the guy, look, you ain't going to find me complaining at all.
And that's all I don't know. I actually say is I think that's what caused him to miss so many tackles is because he was moving to that new position.
Sure, could be. Yeah.
And I definitely think that whoever we get, I'm confident that Coach Quinn, if he gets a new defensive piece, he's going to be able to coach him up and help him eliminate those mistakes that he made, like he helped Coach Micah. He came in, Dan Quinn just grabbed him and said, this is my toy. I'm going to play with my toy, and I'm about to going to fix it up.
He ain't Micah, though. He ain't Micah. He ain't Micah. That's all I'm going to say. Micah is special, man. He's special.
Yeah, but I just didn't like how, like, at the end of the season, he just seemed so worn down from pass rushing so much. That was my only thing about, getting an extra guy who can play around the edge so that Micah doesn't have to play it too much, so Micah's more fresher going into the playoffs.
Just like I said to the other caller, they have that on the team. They just refuse to move Micah around. Like right now, you can line up right now, and Micah Parsons doesn't have to play 700 snaps at defensive end. He doesn't have to. They choose to do it because he's your best pass rusher, and I get it. But, I mean, when your best player on defense is telling you, yo, I want to play some linebacker. I'm not really, built. This is different. This is a different ball game down here playing defensive end all the time. He's reaching out for help, telling you, move me around. Let me be played to the best of my abilities. And for whatever reason, I think people who want to put Micah full-time defensive end, they forget how great and elite he was at run, hit, talk shit guy when it comes to linebacker. Like if you kept him clean, and even if you don't, he got the physicality. Bro was hawking people down at the line of scrimmage. He was elite as a run defender, but we can't in one breath say we want to be better against the run, but in my opinion, your best run defender, you don't allow him to do some of that stuff. So that's just me.
All right, bro. That's all I got, and I'm happy that it's finally here. I'm gonna be with my homeboys tonight watching the draft, and I hope everybody enjoys the first round pick that we get. Just have confidence that our front office knows how to draft. So, all right, y'all boys.
My guy, appreciate you, man. So, I don't really not Mel. Okay, it was King. You said you don't think it's sustainable. I think it's because a versatile role like that isn't sustainable. Well, there was a lot of guys who stood up, put their hand down, inside, outside. They sustained that for a long, long time. I don't see how being a linebacker that rushes on rush downs isn't sustainable. That's how I want to use Micah Parsons. You wouldn't even have a linebacker conversation if Micah Parsons is your linebacker. It's that simple. And then you blitz him. When it's third down, you move. Why wouldn't that be sustainable? Let me ask you that question. Why wouldn't a guy like Micah Parsons, early downs, he's a linebacker. Pass rush downs, he rushes the passer. I don't think it's that difficult. I think they just say Micah's so damn great at rushing the passer. That's what we're going to do primarily. And sure, he going to come out firing, but you better bulk him up then. You better prep him for that way because, as he said last year, I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't built for that. I got to deal with these 330-pound dudes, pushing up against me all the time. Even when he's not involved in the play. I think he brought it up. You still getting chipped. You still getting your legs cut off and whatnot. I don't know if he said this publicly, and I don't know if I should be saying it out loud, but I will say this. There was frustration. Like legitimate frustration with him not being able to play linebacker, man. Because he, believe it or not, he a goddamn linebacker. He's just a linebacker that's rushing the passer too many times, in my opinion. But I'll leave it at that, man. That man will be best if he was playing from second level down, not first level back. Unless you're going to move him full time and he bulks up to be 6'3", 260 or something, 275. I don't know. All right, we got Los and Marvin. We out of here. What's good, Los?
Good morning, Scott, man. Hey, the day of the draft is finally here.
It's here, man. It's here.
Finally. Like, hey, it's finally to the day where whoever we get, we can finally talk about the pick and move on, right? But so I did my own mock draft yesterday. Well, me picking my own players,
okay.
And there's only 4 teams I feel like that can not dictate. But it all depends on what these teams do, right? And I'll just give you the teams, which is the Lions, those Falcons, those damn Eagles, and Green Bay. And I say the Lions because they can go a lot of ways, right? But they can get their future tight end, Dalton Kincaid or Michael Mayer. Hell, they can even get Bijan Robinson if they want with the 6th pick and see what they get later on, right? But it all depends how the draft falls, right? And
sure.
Me looking at it, I really feel like none of these guys like Jackson Smith, Drupa, or Bijan are, they're not going to fall at 26. I doubt it. So, in my opinion, I really feel like it's
You never know, man.
Go ahead.
You never know.
Man, if Bijan falls to 26, I'm gonna be humping the chair just like Bosch, man. I'll tell you what. But hey, if I really do think it's either gonna come to Dan Quinn or Mike McCarthy, and it's gonna be these 2 positions. It's either gonna be an offensive guard or it's gonna be Will McDonald. And whoever bangs the table the hardest on that draft night, like, hey, I need my guy on offense. I need my guy to be protected, which is Dak. Let's dictate the run. Let's invest in our run game more. Or is it going to be let's help Micah Parsons? Like y'all just talked about. Let him run more freely because he's like our primary weapon of our defense. So it all depends on what way they're going to go. But if it was up to you, Sky, would you rather have the best offensive guard or the best edge for this year? And I'll leave it at that, Scott.
Wow.
You have
the best offensive guard. I mean, it's that simple because that's the position you need. It's the blinking red light. So, yeah, give me the offensive guard all day and tomorrow.
And in saying that, who do you think that is first round?
Darnell Wright. But he's a tackle. So I'm talking about a tackle sliding in the guard.
Gotcha. Well, that's it, Sky. I mean, you have a great morning. I hope our chips fall in the favor. And like Vosh said, let these teams suck at drafting, right? But I will say this as a bonus, let out one name to look out for, and it's an interesting name. He's a quarterback. It's Hendon Hooker. Like, I really don't know if he's going to fall second or first round. But, like, man, if the team goes up and tries to get him in the first round, man, that's going to set the draft forward in a frenzy. But, yeah, peace out, Sky.
Okay. Appreciate you, man. I tell y'all, man, you know, one interesting name y'all going to have to worry about with these quarterbacks, man. That Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young going to go really, really high in this draft, man. Love you, Los. Oh, man, said, I don't know, man. Look, be on the lookout. I don't know if y'all know about this guy. That goddamn Hendon Hooker. Look, man, I get this question so many times, and I'm gonna keep saying it the same way. There is no either or. Y'all ask me this all the time. Well, this or that. There is no either or. We are open for business at 26, Cowboys Nation. We open for business, you know. And I think the Cowboys are gonna be open for business. I don't think they're zeroed in on one position. They're not zeroed in on one player. They're gonna pick by their board, man. I'm telling you, they're gonna pick by their board, and somebody gonna be upset when it's not offense lineman, or if it's not the tight end, or it's not the receiver, or it's not the edge. Telling you that right now. But I'm going to wait and see where they got these guys rated on their board, because I just feel like they put themselves in the best position in a long time to be able to do that. Now, if you want to go, I don't want to risk it, no biscuit. There is that blinking red light position at guard. I'm not taking no chances. I don't care what y'all talk about. Yeah, he might be 55 on the board. We take him at 26. Then jump and take the guard. Regardless, though, I'm kicking back. I'm chilling. Unless they take Luke Musgrave. Then I'm snapping. So today, you've got to be Marv Kiper Jr. What's good, man?
What up, fam?
How you feeling? It's your day, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm just ready for today. I'm like you. Whoever they take, I'm cool. I ain't even tripping no more, because I know.
Unless it's Luke Musgrave.
Yeah. Like you said, they take that guy. You just say, then I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be wild. So,
but the draft that's the draft on Sunday. Them guys pickups. That's them 3rd-year, 4-year players after the virus. You know, because a lot of them guys is in this draft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my man Will gonna find somebody in there that's gonna surprise y'all. He always do.
On day 3? On Saturday, you mean?
On Sunday, after the draft.
Undrafted free agents. Oh yeah, Dallas is. Yeah, Will and Dallas, they're really good at finding a couple of them gems that'll stick around for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you still got to make your special teams. You got to, the kicker. The 2 best kickers was the Michigan and Ohio State kicker, right? Them the 2 best athletes.
Okay.
So we're going to draft one of them. Y'all know that. Because we don't have no kicker.
Oh,
so
gosh,
we need that.
Damn kicker.
You missed it.
How y'all feel about drafting a kicker? I'm indifferent about it, man. Like, I get it. I totally get it. But it's a kicker.
6th round.
Hey, man.
But you got, because our kicker, man, last year, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, did he just lost it? Did he just start shanking? I'm like, what the?
I think he got paid off. Man. You ever see the replacements?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember the kicker? He had some gambling, mob. No, I think he got into it with somebody down there in Miami, or I'm sorry, in Tampa Bay, because ain't no way, dog. You missed 5 kicks in 2 games. Extra points.
That was bad. I'm like, really?
That's bad.
All of a sudden, this guy just started shanking. I'm like, what the? That's bad though, man. Yeah, you can't bring him back. I don't care. This guy here, man.
Yeah,
So we got to get a kicker.
Yeah, he's out. He's out. We do got to get a kicker, man. But for a team that covets draft picks, if they'll take the kicker, whatever, I'll get over it. But yeah, I'd rather them take a different player, honestly, than a kicker.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good day. Everybody keep talking about. I don't know. Why do everybody think Bijan? Is he Tony Dorsett?
Don't do that. Don't do that to Bijan, man. Bijan good, man. Really, really good.
Is he my favorite halfback, the most dangerous back ever for the Cowboys?
That ain't right.
Is he TD? Come on, man.
You ain't feeling it?
Golly. I'm just tired of these guys. Brag on this guy like he's Tony Dorsett. He's not Tony Dorsett.
He's nice, though.
Man, it's a lot of... You watch Israel from Pittsburgh.
Yes,
nice.
I watch
Take
Israel. He ain't better than Bijan, but I watch Israel. Yeah.
But he could do the same thing, brother.
Look, Marv. There's so many running backs. I'll be cool with taking. So, yeah, there's a whole lot of them.
Thank you. But still, if he dropped the 26th and we take him, I'll be saying, welcome to the Cowboys.
Welcome, Tony Dorsett.
Welcome, Tony Dorsett.
Look, Marv talking all this shit, but if we draft Bijan, you're gonna be talking about he the best running back in the National Football League. Can't nobody stop him. Like, Marv, we know how it go, Marv. We know how it go.
No, I'm gonna say we got that. We're gonna say whoever halfback we're gonna say, we're gonna have that double, that triple combo. Cause he gonna, you know what I'm saying? They gonna run them back. You don't need to run them back to the ground no more. You can't do that.
Nah.
That's how halfbacks get hurt.
It got to be a committee approach. Maybe we need to find a different name for it. But I'm with you. This whole one back thing it's out the window now.
It's out the window. Yeah. But I want your boy too from Tennessee. That's the only guy I go up for to lose a pick. That's it.
Well, right. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's other guys, Broderick Jones and things. I don't think Broderick is going to fall. I don't think Paris is going to be around. In Paris, you ain't going to move him inside. So
no,
that's why Wright is the name for me.
Yeah, but remember I told you, remember my name, McClendon. Don't forget. Did you watch it?
This is true.
Do not forget.
I haven't watched. I just kind of did a quick little research when I was talking about him yesterday with Vach. But there's day 2 guards that I think you can get your hands on, which is again why I'm all right if they don't take it in day 1. But damn it, please get one. Please get one in day 2, Mar. Please.
Yeah, because they love the North Carolina State guard too, Zavala.
Northwest.
Zavala's the big.
Oh, Northwest. You're talking about Via? Or
North
TCU?
Carolina State.
TCU?
Yeah.
Oh, Zavala.
Zavala. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they like him too.
Yeah, I watched him the other day. A little bit more on him. I could live with it for sure. I could live with it.
I like that competition.
Look, I like him more than I like Bradford. I watch him and I watch Bradford. I see 2 different players, man. So, you know, that whole Bradford and 3rd round thing is a no for me. I'd rather take Zavala there. Yeah.
Yeah. What about they was talking about, remember the Alabama guy?
I know the draft show was talking about him, but I didn't, and Aisha was, but I didn't go check out the offensive line from Alabama, no.
Yeah. So they've been looking at him too. So they like you. They're going to drop one of them guards. I know they are.
Sure.
Or a tackle guard.
They got to. Man.
I'm just ready for this draft to get over. And I'm ready for this Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday is the big day. That's when I like to do my homework.
Yeah.
Like y'all call me Marv Kiper.
Marv Kiper. Well, we appreciate you coming in today, Marv Kiper, and we'll be back live later tonight. So make sure you come through. I don't think we're gonna have the phone lines open.
Who you gonna be doing the show with?
Foots. Me and Foots. We're gonna be on live.
Oh, okay. At 4:30.
Oh, that's right. You Pacific. Nah.
It's gonna be 4:30 my time. It's gonna be 6:30 your time.
probably about 6 your time. We're gonna be on Vach's show for a little bit at the start of the draft. But about pick 15, I'm gonna come back on. We're gonna go live. So probably really about 6 your time.
Yeah. Oh, one more. If that dude number 9 dropped to us from Penn State, what you think? Porter?
Yeah, we talked about him earlier in the draft. If Porter falls there, I think it's no doubt in my mind he's number 1 on your draft board.
You got to take him.
And you take him.
You got to take him.
Because I think they're going to take the best player on their board, and Porter would be it. So.
And then that means what you call getting cut.
Boss man?
Number 26. No. Boss man is going to be a special team ace for the Cowboys for years.
26 is Deron Bland. Who you talking about?
Not 26. Who changed his number?
Oh,
3 or
J. Lou?
2? Yeah. That's $4 million, $5 million.
You going to cut J. Lou before you cut Boss Man Fat?
No, they ain't cutting Boss. Boss Man still young.
I don't give a damn if
he a special team player for the rest of his life.
Sir, ain't no way in no world.
So they're going to keep special teams.
Ain't no way in no world I'm cutting Jordan Lewis over Boss Man Fat right now. Not doing.
Ain't no way I'm cutting Boss Man Fat, a 22-year-old guy that run a 4.3 that tackle better than him.
Who gives a damn if he run a 4? What did he do when he was out there, Marv? What did he do when he was out there, Marv?
He got me a fumble against San Francisco that could have got to the next race.
He got find me special teams players, Mar. What are we talking about,
man?
Here?
Come on,
you
bro.
gonna
everybody got cooked.
So you mean to tell me? You mean to tell me you're gonna cut?
30 got cooked about 20 times. Come on.
You gonna cut?
Stop.
Who's number 30?
Stop it, still.
Talking about AB?
Don't do it. JB got his ass turned.
He sure did, and that's why he's not on his field.
To break the TV.
Sure.
They hate him.
What does that have to do with Boss Man Fat? Because he's the one that replaced him, and he got cooked.
Y'all talking about Boss Man Fat? Still. Only way y'all talking about Boss Man Fat because of that incident.
I don't give a damn about that incident. Forget the incident. What about the incidents? What about the incidents on the field, Marv?
You're glad, man. The guy finally started playing, bro.
Huh?
The first, remember when he played against Philly? Everybody was hyping him up. I heard everybody. And then he came back the next year.
Marv.
In the first year, the guy did good.
In 2022.
The guy did good the first year still.
In 2022, he gave up 4 touchdowns and like 100 pass coverage snaps. That's terrible. His coverage was terrible.
Young,
the tape is terrible. I don't give a damn. He's still young, and he's your cornerback 6 right now. Think about that.
Well,
6.
This is third year.
Marv, let's play. No, Marv, no. Marv, let's play a game. Let's play a game, Marv. Boss Man Fat.
Let's do it.
Stephon Gilmore.
Stephon is an all-pro.
Boss Man Fat. Trayvon Diggs.
Them your 2 starting corners.
Boss Man Fat. Deron Bland.
That's your.
Boss Man Fat.
You got
Joey Porter.
Okay, keep going.
So we're at 5 corners, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. He would be cornerback 5 or 6. He got benched for Nashawn Rice, but I'll say his name for you. Boss Man Fat, Nashawn Wright. I already know where you're going.
Boss Man Fat.
Even though Nashawn Wright he had better film last year, but all right. So you sitting here capping really hard for a potential cornerback 5 because he plays special teams.
Yeah.
Come on, dog.
Special
Goodbye.
teams win championships, brother.
Goodbye.
And you got to remember, and our other gunner is getting older. How many years he been playing? 8 years?
Man, CJ Goodwin is in fantastic shape. Man. CJ Goodwin ain't losing no step out there. What are we doing?
We got the 2 best cover guys in the league now.
All right, Mark.
Everybody said, come on now, Steve.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to cut me quality cornerback depth for a special team guy. All right, Mark, we love you, dog. We
get Porter, Steve, come on now, Steve. If we get Porter, your boy is gone. That's $4 or $5 million. Look, Cap boy.
I can care less.
Bye.
I can care less. He's not my boy. Number one. I don't care if they cut Jordan Lewis. If we get Porter, it doesn't really bother me. But I'm telling you, I cut Boss Man Fat before I cut some damn Jordan Lewis. Boss Man Fat is trash. He was trash last year. He got to get better. And we out of here, Marv. I'm gonna let that one go because boy, you tripping a little bit, man. You tripping a little bit, Playboy. I'm sorry, man. I can't do this with you. I can't do this with you. I'm not getting rid of quality depth for Boss Man Fat. But if they were to cut Jordan Lewis, they're gonna see me crying about it. If they took Porter in that situation, by the way, if they cut him now, I'll be a little like, yo, what are we doing? Yeah, you keep the depth. Did we not learn our lesson from last year when you got hurt? But how on God's green earth can you watch him last year and be like, yup, cornerback 6, because he played special teams? Mar, it ain't hard. That call was brought to you by Boston Scientific, because Marv made that whole situation more difficult than it needed to be. But in the U.S., more than 39 million men suffer from ED. And if you've tried pills or any other type of potential solution and it hasn't helped you, there's hope. It's Boston Scientific, man. They've created edcure.org. You can log on, take a quiz. They got special content for you if you have any type of condition. So there's a permanent, satisfying solution to treat your ED. Sign on to edcure.org, get the facts, find a urologist who can offer treatment options when others don't work. That's edcure.org. It ain't hard, but you can be.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Boss Man Fat.
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the million.
Damn about the off field.
of Cowboys fans.
He was getting
to bring you the
You know what?
real.
I ain't
But for
gonna
now,
say that.
Strap up and
Rest in peace to that man's family.
here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
And you know, smoke one for you. I appreciate you with that one there too, because Boss Man Fat or Israel McQuamble. So we talking about cornerback 7, Mark. What? Boss Man Fat Jordan Lewis. We talking about cornerback 8. I don't give a goddamn if that man's on this team. Hey, Tuck, if you're still in the building, we had a conversation the other day about him. All right, Marv. Just pay attention when you get down there in camp and see what's happening around. That's all I'm saying. Let me get to these super chats so we can get up out of here. Get a little bit of rest before the long night. Smoke one for you. Appreciate you, man. He dropped 20 and said, Boss Man worse than all of them. Izzy should be number 4. What we talking about, my G? Oh, and Sky, take a huge look at Xavier Smith from FAMU, wide receiver late rounds. Of course, Josh Wiley, please, sir, you will be pleased. Smoke one for you. I remember a couple weeks ago, you were on the Josh Wiley train. A couple other y'all in here too. And I took a look at him, and I've been right there with you on Josh Wiley. Josh Wiley on day 3, I'm with it all day tomorrow. I like him. Hey, Frankie said he wanted to get on a call with Marv. Wow, I would pay for that. Yeah, I would pay for a Marv and Frankie call, and then on the way out of one of them, I'll bring Danny in. But all three of y'all, it'd be wild. It'd be kind of wild. All right, so I got
Super chat.
Smoke one for you. Appreciate you. I am the last ape. Just drop one. Salute.
Super chat.
Sully drop one. Yo, Sky. Marv always start good at the beginning, but slowly but surely he turned oil and water. Yeah. He started off great, man. Then he got weird with the boss man love. I don't get it. What are we seeing here besides special teams? I can find me a special teamer.
Super chat.
Towboat Ty drop one, said guard tackle, but I think he's talking about his previous super chat. Appreciate you. Where he said not getting a guard or linebacker. I'm sorry, guard linebacker. In the first round, 3 rounds is like going grocery shopping without a list. You got some good food, but forgot to get what you need. Oh man, can I get a kind of with you on that one? Yeah, you know how I feel about linebacker. I would love to come out of this draft with a linebacker, but do I still got it? Let me see here in my mock draft. I didn't come out of here with a linebacker. So that was the one flaw in my mock draft situation. I didn't come out here with a linebacker, but I'm with you, man. And then Black Lion said Gibbs and Tony equals most explosive backfield
Super chat.
in the NFL. Oh, y'all was dropping them this morning. I thought that was the last one. D-Lay 702.
Super chat.
Your best third day pick if there were who? Your best third day pick if he were there, I'm guessing you mean? If he's there, who would it be? And I appreciate the show. Gets my day going. Salute. Best day 3 pick. I'm going to be that terrible host, D-Lay. That's too broad, man. There's so many players. I don't know. Here I got Dwayne McBride. Give me one of the top running back. I don't know, man. There's just too many. What are we doing in day 1? I'm a context guy. Sorry, brother.
Super chat.
Who else? Andre Robinson dropped one. Washington, New York Jets, and Bucks are all eyes in Darnell Wright. We probably have to jump 3 squads. Oh well. Yeah, I'm all about jumping up a little bit. But damn, Washington's sitting at what? 18? Where was that at? 16. Yeah, I don't think they're going to jump from 26 to 15 or something like that. So I'm talking about if he gets around 20, 21, let's pick up the phone, talk to Baltimore, something like that. Man, y'all wasn't here dropping them. Grande Poppy dropped one.
Super chat.
He said, Sky, who do you want in this draft that people are high on? And just to lighten things up, what's your draft day food of choice? Wings. But I don't eat during the show, unfortunately. I got to eat before the show. Who do I want in this draft that people are high on? Darnell Wright, Will McDonald, Zay Flowers. And we're talking about these early guys. I like Avia, and people are high on Avia. John Michael Schmitz. Man, I love John Michael Schmitz because then I don't have to pay, no offense to Tyler Biadasz, but I could slide him in at center. Josh Wiley, if we're talking about day 3 to ask the other question, I do like Josh Wiley. Man, I like a lot of players, bro. A lot of players I would want, but we only can get one in this first round. Jason dropped one. Who is your major boom or bust at 26? Then he quoted
Super chat.
Tyler Smith. I'm not sure why he parenthesized Tyler Smith. Your major boom or bust at 26. Dalton Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid is a boom or bust, I think, prospect. Darnell Wright, probably the biggest boom or bust. It's just that we are enamored with the boom. But there is huge bust factor there. If you're picking him at 26 and he doesn't round into form to being a receiving tight end and he's just a blocking guy that can catch a few times. Most of these receivers got boomer bust. Quentin Johnson, I ain't gonna lie. I think Quentin Johnson got some boomer bust to him for sure. Eternal Dynasty.
Super chat.
He dropped one and said, very reliable source said the Cowboys are drafting the kid from Seymour. You try to get me to click it, and you got me to click it just to see, but salute to you, Eternal Dynasty. That was funny.
Super chat.
James Havens dropped 5 and said, do you smell what Dallas is cooking? Do you think we will get a tight end or running back like Gibbs? Yeah, I do. It feels very tight end pick here in this draft. I just don't know where they're going to pick a tight end, but I think they're going to pick one. Gibbs, I don't know if Gibbs is on the table. I don't. I think you heard which is weird because now I'm contradicting a little bit about the tight end. You heard Stephen Jones talk about the depth at line, or the depth at tight end, and depth at receiver, and the depth at running back. I think they can wait, and I don't know if they're going to jump to get Gibbs, but he's a first round type of talent to me. Chris dropped one and said, manifesting Darnell Wright at 26. Indeed. And I think I got to most of them. There was one that just dropped. Smoke one for you. Appreciate you, man.
Super chat.
He dropped one that says, Sky, this is my money, bro. We're going to get Gibbs or McDonald. Guaranteed. Salute. See you tonight, man. Appreciate you, man, on that 50 piece, man. Really do. Really, really do. Woo! It's here, ladies and gentlemen. Mere hours away from our or my or whatever you want to call it, 4th annual NFL Draft Day special. Me and Foots will be back on later. No Vox Lombardi live show, of course, obviously, because he's going to be live as well. We'll also be joining him at the beginning of the draft-ish, depending how I'm setting up here, at the beginning of the draft. And we'll have some fun with Vox leading up to the Cowboys pick when we come back here on A to Z Sports Dallas. So make sure y'all keep everything locked today across all platforms for A to Z Sports Dallas, your boy Skywalker, and really the Cowboys community. Everybody in the Cowboys community is going to be active today. They're going to be live. They're going to be dropping videos. Make sure y'all support, because I don't think there's another community, another team's community that is as active as we are, is as efficient, and has this type of quality that we're going to be giving y'all today and for the next week or so, right? So make sure y'all support everybody across all platforms, across all universes. I remember when I was Dallas Cowboys universe. Make sure y'all support those guys. All right. With that said, move DeJuan to guard. That boy about 6'12", man. 6'12". Man, he's funny. All right, with that said, I'm going to press this button and get up out of here and get ready for the day, get my mind right, and I'll be back. Wings for the night. What y'all eating? Somebody hit me up, was like, hey, I think it was Juan. I'm going to hit you back, Juan. Where you watch the draft at? Hey, Juan, I'm going to be live, bro. I'm going to be working. I'm going to be working, man. Nah, Rice 6'5". We out of here. Love y'all. Peace. Not close to the same talking about, Danny.